Super awkward FUN-CAST. You're listening to the Super Awkward FUN-CAST. Yeah.
I think this is a waste of time. I think the whole Ukraine thing is a waste of time. Just so, before we do this, I'm doing this under protest, okay? Because I think this is dumb. I think the less attention paid to this, the better.
That's why we're getting out of the way at the beginning.
There are homeless people sleeping on the street. There are children
being
starving,
being
trafficked. There are people on drugs who can't get off drugs. And
nobody wants to help them.
This is what the Democrats are doing. This is what they're doing. They're chasing a bullshit, stupid fucking thing.
And the homeless... Oh, I got a fucking letter. Hello, it's Elle. And this is Steven. And I got a letter from this council, the LA council people, or whatever, saying this is where your taxes are going in terms of homeless people, like with the HHH initiative thing. And it was just... an LGBTQ center for runaways, I guess.
Yeah.
And then a women's shelter just for homeless women. And then another one for homeless women and children. But, you know, the straight the straight dudes, I automatically go to white. Because that's the new thing.
They don't give a fuck about the guys.
Yeah, they don't care about the dudes.
It's election year. No one cares about guys.
Who gives a shit, right?
This whole thing is so stupid. So that's why I want to do this. This is so dumb. We'd rather talk about it than do it, but...
Well, we're just doing that one part that's being picked apart by the media.
Why don't you explain what we're doing? So
okay.
That way at least
okay. So the Ukraine transcript, this phone call that everybody's up in arms about and thinks is like the worst thing since Nixon or some stupid shit like that. It's all partisan bullshit. And also, FYI, Hillary Clinton did the exact same thing and got caught.
Who hasn't put leverage on a foreign government to get
just as recently as 2016. So there was even an investigation. And the fact that this whole fucking country has been run by the mob since I don't know when.
Well, some kind of mob anyway.
Yeah. So we're going to get through this real quick, but he's going to play the president. I'll play...
Just warning you, this is horrible. I've never done this. The impression is terrible, so...
Yeah. And I'm probably not going to do a very good job either. But this is just the one part that they're so concerned about. We're not going to get in the whole fucking thing. But here it is. This is the phone call from like September 19th or whatever the fuck day it was. July 25th. Sorry.
Yeah,
July 25th, 2019, 9:03 to 9:33 a.m. So important. We have to hear about it on a daily basis. All right, here we go. President.
President Trump. How does it even sound? I don't know what he sounds like. But, I would like you to do us a favor, though, because that sounds like Bernie Sanders. I can't hear his voice. This is how often I listen to the fucking news. Like, okay,
we can listen to him real quick.
I would like you to do us a favor. Though, because I don't know what he fucking sounds like.
Hold on, let me play him.
I want to do Ronald Reagan.
I'll play a clip of him. I would like to do
you a favor.
Trump interview, blah, blah, blah.
Let's hear what Trump sounds like.
All right. Ew, no. Why does Hillary Clinton come up first?
Because they're the same person.
This fucking bullshit.
She turns into Trump at night. That's what happens. That's why he tweets so late.
Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, shut the fuck up.
That doesn't sound like President Trump.
Okay, hold on. There he is with, this is a little Inception-y, with Jimmy Fallon. Let me skip the Fallon part.
Classic interview.
Okay, interview time. Question 1. Are you ready for the Republican debate next week?
He's doing his own.
The truth is, I'm always ready. It's really going to be a big...
The truth is, I'm always ready. I would like to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot, and Ukraine knows about a lot. I would like to find out what happened with this whole situation with Ukraine. They say crowd strike. I guess you have one of your wealthy people, the server. They say Ukraine has it. There are a lot of things that went on. The whole situation. I think you're surrounding yourself with some of the same people. I would like to have the Attorney General call you or your people, and I would like you... They steal something, Bernie Sanders. I would like you to get to the bottom of it. As you saw yesterday, the whole nonsense ended with a very poor performance by a man named Robert Mueller. An incompetent performance, but they say a lot of it started with Ukraine. Whatever you can do, it's very important that you do it if it's possible.
Yes, it is very important for me and everything that you just mentioned
That's not
earlier.
fun. You got to be more Ukrainian.
I'm trying.
Just sound like Dracula. Just sound like Dracula.
For me as a
There you
president.
go.
For me as a president, it is very important, and we are open for any future cooperation. We are ready to open a
You
new
don't sound like
page
Dracula anymore. You're losing it.
on cooperation in relations between the United States and Ukraine. For that purpose, I just recalled our ambassador from the United States, and he will be replaced by a very competent and very experienced ambassador who will work hard on making sure that our two nations are getting closer. I would also like and hope to see him having your trust and your confidence and have personal relations with you so we can cooperate even more so. I will personally tell you that one of my assistants spoke with Mr. Giuliani just recently.
Rudy Giuliani, by the way.
And we are hoping very much that Mr. Giuliani will be able to travel to Ukraine, and we will meet once he comes to Ukraine. I just wanted to assure you once again that you have nobody but friends around us. I will make sure that I surround myself with the best and most experienced people. I also wanted to tell you that we are friends. We are great friends, and you, Mr. President, have friends in our country, so we can continue our strategic partnership. I also plan to surround myself with great people, and in addition to that investigation, I guarantee as the president of Ukraine that all the investigations will be done openly and candidly. That I can assure you.
Can you imagine people talking like this? Like President Trump, just like listening on the other end of the line, like I'm listening. He's listening like I'm listening to you. Like I have no idea what any of this just said. I don't know what any of that means. I don't even care. Like I just
none of this would hold up in court.
Really, how people talk? Is this really what the conversation goes? Like this long-winded? I'd be like, you know what? Can you shut the fuck up now? I want to get back to COVID. Okay, so the president says, good. Because I heard you had a prosecutor who was very good and he was shut down, and that's really unfair. A lot of people are talking about that, the way they shut your very good prosecutor down. Your very good prosecutor down, and you had some very bad people involved. Mr. Giuliani is a highly respected man. He was the mayor of New York City, a great mayor, and I would like him to call you. I will ask him to call you along with the Attorney General. Rudy very much knows what's happening, and he is a very capable guy. If you could speak to him, that would be great. The former ambassador from the United States, the woman, was bad news, and the people she was dealing with in the Ukraine were bad news. So I just want to let you know that. The other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out that. So whatever you can do with the Attorney General would be great. Biden went around bragging that he would stop the prosecution. So if you could look into it, it sounds horrible to me. I don't know what the three dots, but it sounds horrible to me.
I wanted to tell you about the prosecutor. First of all, I understand and I'm knowledgeable about this situation. Since we have won the absolute majority in our parliament, the next prosecutor general will be 100% my person, my candidate, who will be approved by the parliament and will start as a new prosecutor in September.
What is Trump doing while this is happening, while you're talking? He's like, just like sitting there like eating.
He never made the meeting, too.
He's just eating. He's having some McDonald's. He's just chilling.
He or she will look into the situation, specifically to the company that you mentioned in this issue. Look how
politically correct Zelenskyy is. Mm-hmm. He or she.
The issue...
They are perfectly open to women being in position.
The issue of the investigation of the case is actually the issue of making sure to restore the honesty. So we will take care of that, and we'll work on the investigation of the case. On top of that, I would kindly ask you, if you have any additional information that you can provide to us, it would be very helpful for the investigation to make sure.
Is Trump making sounds right? It's like, information, yeah.
To make sure that we administer justice in our country with regard to the ambassador of the United States from Ukraine. As far as I recall, her name was Ivanovich.
The woman.
It was great that you were the first one who told me that she was a bad ambassador, because I agree with you 100%. Her attitude towards me was far from the best, as she admired the previous president and she was on his side. She would not accept me as a new president. Well, enough.
Hate the women.
So let's skip to the end.
Oh, great. Where's the end? Good? While we thank you, that one? That's the line? Good, while we thank you very much.
Yeah, let's start
there. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now I'm reading it. So I'm trying to see what he's talking about. Okay.
It's skipping to the end.
I know, I'm just trying to see what he's responding to, because he says, we're going to thank you very much, and I appreciate that. So I'm trying to see what that is.
That is, we're buying American oil, but I am very hopeful for a future meeting. We will have more time and more opportunities to discuss these opportunities and get to know each other better. I would like to thank you very much for your support.
Good! Well, I thank you very much, and I appreciate that. I will tell Rudy and Attorney General Barr to call. Thank you. Whenever you would like to come to the White House, feel free to call. Give us a date and we'll work it out. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you very much. I would be very happy to come and would be happy to meet with you personally and get to know you better. I am looking forward to our meeting, and I also would like to invite you to visit Ukraine and come to the city of Kiev, which is a beautiful city. We have a beautiful country which would welcome you. On the other hand, I believe that on September 1st we will be in Poland, and we can meet in Poland, hopefully. After that, it might be a very good idea for you to travel to Ukraine. We can either take my plane and go to Ukraine, or we can take your plane, which is probably much better than mine.
Take your plane, go to Ukraine, take your plane, go to Ukraine. That rhymes. Holy shit.
He did not say that.
Okay, we can work it out. I look forward to seeing you in Washington and maybe in Poland. You're right. Because I think we're going to be there at that time.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Congratulations on the fantastic job you've done. The whole world was watching. I'm not sure it was so much of an upset, but congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I have no idea what happened there. I still have no clue. That was the worst.
Nothing happened.
I don't know what they were talking about.
It was
I don't think we even had
stupid.
The gist of it there.
That was basically what happened.
Well, because
nothing happened.
Where is the part where he says, I'm holding this money back from you?
He doesn't.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He
because
literally doesn't.
I didn't read the whistleblower thing.
But let's listen to what we have to have the whole story, right? That's how that goes. So we got to listen to the Biden thing that he's discussing in this clip.
Biden.
In this transcript.
I don't know that was
Biden.
The worst Trump impression of all time.
Yeah. Oh, they're covering everything. Oh.
Yeah, I read the whistleblower report. And then I stopped when it said, I don't even really know any of this. This is all from someone who's telling me these things.
Excuse me.
And I was like, well, then we stop there. Because this isn't even someone who was in the room.
Exactly.
This isn't someone who directly had knowledge
That's
of
not
it.
a whistleblower.
That's somebody who was like, someone told them something, or they overheard something, was like, guess what I heard?
Okay, here's the clip.
Trump!
Let's run the clip that is basically him bragging, like Trump said. Joe Biden bragging about the prosecutor.
Joe Biden.
Which never happened, but I'm going to share the clip with you so you can decide whether it happened.
I'm desperately concerned about the backsliding.
This is from the Council of Foreign Relations. He's at a Council on Foreign Relations meeting.
I'll give you one concrete example. I was... but it just happened to be that was the assignment I got. I got all the good ones, and so I got Ukraine. And I remember going over convincing our team, or others, convincing that we should be providing for
Some elite.
He's sniffing someone's hair, like right as he's talking.
I guess the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch.
Damn,
got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time. Well, so they made some...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no one cares. It's Obama.
So they're kind of accusing Trump of doing exactly what Biden literally did on camera.
Well, I think even that, I think the main gist of it is that their concern is that he's trying to dig this dirt up, to sully the election, basically.
Which was something that happened.
And that's the crime, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I understand, that's the crime.
Which had been committed previously.
The crime isn't that he withheld funds from Ukraine. The crime is that he's using this leverage to influence the election.
But then you have to say that crime was initiated in this, new world after 2016 in the 2016 primaries with Hillary Clinton.
Well, and they were digging up Russian
Ukraine
dirt on Trump then too,
and tried to get a bunch of information on Trump to break down
documents,
to take down his campaign.
Right, and so no one understands.
And there's a little something with Paul Manafort that she may have been responsible for that as well.
Yeah.
So this is all just shit that was okay when it was your side, but now it's on the other side. Well, so it's like, we got to be all upset about it.
No, and that's all it is, and that's what I'm saying. It's such a waste of time.
Just partisan bullshit.
The Democrats are children, and they're behaving like children.
They're trying to reelect him right now, and they're succeeding.
They're really succeeding. I mean, this tells you they have nothing.
They don't.
This tells you they're terrified that without an impeachment process, he's not going to lose, and he's going to get reelected. That's where they're at. They have nothing left. They like, you think about the way that they spin the Warren and Bernie thing, right? And how they're kind of leapfrogging each other, and they're rising up. But they don't tell, because Warren raised. I get the email. She raised like $30 million or something, right? Like, she's trying. They're both struggling to meet their funding goals, right? So for the primaries. But Trump has already raised over $100 million. Like, they can't stop him. There's nothing they can do. Wherever he goes, he gets money. But wherever he goes, he gets, like, I went to the Elizabeth Warren rally, like I said, to her town hall meeting, and there was maybe a couple thousand.
She's spearheading this shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't mind her. Like, that's fine, but I don't mind the Democrats, what they're doing. The candidates, they're both fine. They're both a change candidate, so I don't mind. I never mind seeing somebody changeable going to the office, trying it out. Even Obama, I didn't really mind because he was a change from what we were having. I think America needed that at the time.
Bad change.
It turned out that way, but it didn't start out that way, and it started out a little more positive. Well,
he got a Nobel Peace Prize before he started bombing people,
right.
So there's that.
And he did a lot of things outside of the office that it's like Bill Clinton. Like, Bill Clinton was a change we needed as well at the time. Cyclically, the country needed that change.
There's no real change though.
But there was a change of perception, and I think people that's where the American public is with politics. They don't really care about the policies necessarily. They need to feel like there's something happening. They don't need to really know
the illusion of choice.
Yeah, the illusion of choice
that George Carlin says so much about. And did you see that he was kind of trending a little bit yesterday?
I saw that he's dead, and I don't really care what he says, but whatever. I mean, he's dead.
Well, a lot of people were using his words.
Well, that's fine. You can do
in
the
a
same
political
thing with
way.
Nostradamus, you can go to Nostradamus and say, you can apply his prophecies to.
It's kind of funny though.
No, it is. No, I mean, George Carlin had a lot to say.
Kind of funny how you can pick and choose what to be outraged about.
Well, and that's the thing is I don't think. I don't know. I mean, it's just...
From people who are dead, who are not going to say anything.
It's a big manipulation. And I think Carlin had a lot to say for the times he was in.
Yes.
I think that was very prescient, and no one cared at the time.
I cared.
Normal people cared, but I think the population at large didn't care because, one, they didn't have access to him. Like,
right.
Now the internet, you can have a YouTube clip, you can have a thing that goes viral. But back in the 80s, early 90s, when he was sort of really relevant in the 70s, there was none of that. The newspapers weren't reporting what he was saying. There was no nightly news story about, Carlin. Like, there was none of that. Everybody was kind of counterculture. Hippies and dipshits listened to him, and no one really paid attention. So it wasn't so much later that this is all coming out, and you could apply it. You can feel like you could apply it, but are you applying it to the reality? Or are you applying it to the perception that the media has built for you? And
I feel like that goes on both sides, because I see a lot of co-opting of like his kind of words and what he feels about certain things,
right.
With the the faux right. I'm going to call them the faux, because like none of them are right or left in my opinion, and the faux left are now taking something that he said a long time ago and being like, hey, look at that about the faux right. Except they're not realizing that they're both faux.
But yeah, don't they realize he's talking about them too? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so for example, for the media.
They're still trying to censor people. Like, he didn't want censorship of Andrew Dice Clay. This is the clip that they were using.
Well, yeah.
Is that he was
the liberals have always been on the forefront of censorship.
His base was kind of full of misogynists.
The liberals have always been the ones to censor anything. Tipper Gore was the one that spearheaded the need to put this parental label thing on rap music.
Explicit.
Because he thought rap music was destroying America, and video game censorship has always been the Democrats spearheading all of that. The Republicans jump in sometimes when they feel it's a hot issue and
when it's religious.
And they can apply a religious thing to it.
Yes.
But the Democrats are no better. And the media helps shape all of these things. I was late here today because there's a premiere happening down the street for the Joker movie. We're in Hollywood, by the way. So the Hollywood Highland, which is where the Mann's Chinese Theater is where they have these premieres. So when they have these giant premieres, they close the street down, and then I can't take the bus to L's, so I have to go ahead. It goes around. It goes around all that and comes back up into the street. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm thinking the Joker movie, is suddenly it's a dangerous movie. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's people going to get shot.
I wanted to get to that too.
But I don't hear this. I hear this from the media. I think the movie
it's just the media hyping this shit up.
But the media is shaping this narrative
that
this movie is dangerous because they want people to get shot. They want someone to go out there and shoot people.
I was predicting last night with a friend of mine from Twitter. Yes, I have certain actual friends from Twitter who I know where they live and all that stuff. Well, but that they must be gearing up for a false flag event shooting.
It wouldn't be a false flag at this point. At this point, it would be a legit thing. Someone would really get in their head that they need to do this, and they would go out there and do it because the media has put it into their head that someone has to do it.
There was that movie that came out back in the day, and it had a festival kind of showing, the house that Jack built, which was a satire.
But no one saw that.
Yeah, nobody saw that. One, so it didn't get this kind of it got a little bit of this kind of press at the original festival. I can't remember which festival it was, Sundance or something, and people were like, "Oh, this is so disgusting! I had to walk out," and all this stuff. But they don't realize that. Okay, Lars von Trier, he's a troll a little bit.
Well, no one's gonna see his movies.
He's a troll.
Fucking 5 hours long and boring as fuck. Like, no
and
one's gonna see that shit.
he tries to. He's an editor. He editorializes in his films, in ways that he makes you look at society, but you really don't want to do it anymore, and you're kind of sick of his shit. But I heard that the whole thing was not that big a deal. So there was a little bit of a controversy.
No, but that movie had no appeal. It has zero appeal to the population. Like, Joker is a comic book movie. It's appealing to the public.
Or you could remember Death Wish with the remake.
Death Wish no one really knew what was going to go on with. Oh, the remake. Well, no one cared about the remake.
There was a little bit of controversy.
They tried to drum it up. They tried to call back.
So it's not unprecedented.
They tried to call back on the Bronson movie because the Bronson movie had this huge upswell of controversy when it was released. Mm-hmm. Not before, but when it was released, had this huge upswell of controversy the movie studio used in its marketing to push people to go see it. Now that I feel like that's not what they're doing with this movie. I feel like the media is not doing that. The media this time is doing this,
yes,
to foment hatred and to hopefully get someone to shoot people.
They get clicks from hatred, like people.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
But, I think they want someone to get shot. They want someone to get hurt. They're putting it out there, like you said, Inception earlier. They're putting that thought out there.
Yes.
Like, okay, here's an example. So when I was a kid, I never went trick or treating. Right, I couldn't. My religion said no trick or treating, but I could stay at home.
What's your religion?
I was Jehovah's Witness when I was a kid.
Okay.
So I would stay at my grandmother's house. My cousins would come back with their pillowcases full of candy. They would dump it out and go back out, and I would go through the candy. And my grandmother said, "Look for needles." Okay. Now she was kind of half joking, but she wanted to go through the candy and get what she wanted. But she said, "Look for needles." Well, eventually I found one. Okay, I found a needle in a Baby Ruth, and I didn't think anything of it because I thought if you're gonna say look for needles, I'm gonna find one. It didn't really be. I'm like,
that's interesting.
Why would you ask me to look for them if we're not gonna find them? So I found them, right? So you're going out there with this media hype saying, "Oh, the Joker is a dangerous movie. We should think about Aurora, Illinois, or Aurora, wherever that was. Illinois? No, Aurora, Colorado.
Yeah, Aurora, Colorado.
Think about all these things. Here's reminding all these things.
Which was The Dark Knight.
Right. Which
I mean, Dark, right?
But the guy dressed as the
Returns.
Joker, right, to do it. So,
right.
so but you put this thing in someone's mind. Somebody out there, some moron, is going to hear this and he's going to put in his brain like, "Oh, I need to shoot somebody." Not because he wants to shoot anybody, but because now it's expected that someone's going to do this. So now you put it out that someone has to do it.
Then on the other side of things, it could be reverse psychology. So they put all this stuff out in the press, and suddenly people are like, "Well, I gotta see this movie because it's
that's what the movie studio would try to do with it if it was lighter.
Yes.
If the media wasn't so hype on this, but the media has a different agenda. The media wants people to die, and the studio wants people to see the movie. Right, so the only thing that they could do, because I think this movie's gonna be a piece of shit. I think that they needed this kind of publicity for people to even go see it because it's gonna be a stupid movie and people are gonna hate it.
Some of this is a little bit. I think this is advantageous to both parties.
So what you can do now, if you're a movie studio, if you want to play it that way, is you can just take the Daredevils. That's what I call them. You're gonna take the Daredevils and go on the opening weekend and go see it, boost up your box office, and then when the word of mouth gets out, this movie is terrible. Shut it down. Close the VOD window.
There you go. Ban it or something.
Well, we just close the VOD window. You shut it down after a couple of weekends. You close the VOD window. You put it on digital within 4 months instead of 6 months, and then everybody from the safety of
that
their
way
own
you
homes,
keep the profits.
Right. You start making money on VOD, which is much more lucrative these days in the box office, and you get people to watch it from the safety of their own home. You can play it that way. Right? The media might even put it out that, "Oh, the Joker's going to release early on VOD, so you can watch it from the safety of your own home." And then people can rent it and buy it from there, and then you get money, right? So.
Do you remember when the Human Centipede, the last one, came out with that grimy dude?
I guess.
It was all black and white and everything.
I didn't watch it, but yeah.
I didn't watch it either, but I heard that was a really interesting one. I think a lot of the comments that I've seen is that from the media, not just the media, but like other people involved in this situation, is that they think that this character is being, it's like an incel situation. That's what they're saying. Or white supremacists he's getting bullied, blah, 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 and he's the sympathetic figure and blah, blah, blah. And the Warner Brothers came out and said in a statement that they didn't have any intention of having him be a hero or anything. It's never...
Well, people... First of all, these are people talking about haven't seen the movie. So
exactly.
They have no fucking clue.
They always have their own
right.
agenda.
That's what I was talking about from the beginning with this... Like, I knew for the first trailer for this movie was going to be a piece of shit. Because they are appealing to that crowd. Like, that's what they're doing in the trailer. They're not telling you a story. They're giving you images and things that appeal to a certain male crowd that they want to go see this movie, that they want to put this message out there. Mm-hmm. And they started putting that message out there with these trailers. Because remember, the trailer came out way before the movie was done.
Yeah.
And long before there was any sort of semblance of what the story was. Now, they did leak a script of this movie, and I read part of it.
Just ignore the plane in the background.
It's a helicopter. Maybe it's a plane.
Vehicle.
Airborne vehicle. But I read part of the script, I read the synopsis of it, to see what this movie was about and what excites people so much about it. And I think when the movie comes out, people are going to be surprised by what the movie's actually about.
I think they'll be disappointed as well.
Well, they're going to be disappointed because they're going to think it's going to be good. But I think they're going to be surprised.
But also because it's not going to be as
It's not about
crazy.
what the media is telling you it's about. It's
exactly.
not about the incels. It's not about the plight of the white male. It's not about that. It's about.
And if it was, like, who cares?
Well, it's about damaged people and what damage does to people. And it's like there have been plenty of movies like that that have come out, like Falling Down or like Taxi Driver or any movie about a nerd.
Not even a movie, but Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Like, he's
Christine,
like not a great guy.
Right. So, and well, Breaking Bad, I think is.
But they killed him.
They really make it. They really make.
Spoiler alert.
The funny thing about Breaking Bad was that because I've watched that movie. I've watched that show like 9 times in a row. So I'm an expert on Breaking Bad. Okay, so the thing about that show is that they make him into a villain. They try. And they do really make him into a villain. They make him look like a villain. They make him act like a villain. They take away any semblance of compassion, and people still like him. Like, you can't, because it's Bryan Cranston. Like, you can't not like him.
Also, the thing is, like, people are like that in real life. Like, you can turn into something that you wish you could never be.
But see, that's the thing, is that even though he's a villain, and even though he does these things, and he does very despicable things, people still like him. And that's not a reflection on him or the character or the material. That's a reflection of the people watching the material.
Exactly.
Everybody
on
can
society.
identify with that. And people think, I would do the same thing. If my loved ones were in danger, or if I was in danger and I had the opportunity to do something bad to ensure their guilt, or to ensure their guilt, to ensure their success, my family's success, I would do it. Okay, that's the premise. And I think that's with the momentum. But the thing is, eventually in the show, he's not doing it for them anymore. He's doing it for himself.
Exactly. And that's clear.
And they try to make it really clear, and still people were like, no, Skylar's a bitch. But like,
oh my gosh.
But people tell Skylar a bitch, but I'm like, but Skylar's trying to do the right thing.
From her point of view.
Yeah, I'm saying she's the representation of what would happen if any one of us got tangled up in something like that. Like, we would see it and try to stay away from it, and then eventually get involved in it, find a reason to get involved, and then try to compromise our way through, and then still get involved in all of this stuff, right?
I'm also kind of sad because the El Camino trailer came out, and I'm not going to watch it.
Why not?
Because I'm done.
Why?
Jesse got away, and I don't want him to be in that shit anymore.
No, I want to see that. I'm so excited for that.
I'm done.
If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, you've got to see it.
I loved Jesse Pinkman. I wanted him to get away.
Well, now you got to see what happens, right? You got to see what happens to him. Because he was a bad guy, too. So he deserved to die, just like Walt did. He deserved to die. He killed people. He did bad things. He was the mastermind of the whole thing. He's actually the smartest element of Breaking Bad because he's the criminal.
Yeah.
Walter's not the criminal. Jesse's the criminal. Jesse is the criminal mastermind. Walter's just like, I don't know. He's the face of things, right? He's got brain too, but he's like the unleashed version of a criminal. He's like somebody who just got like a new Corvette and just peels out in the parking lot like he does in the Challenger.
I just want things to end when they end at this point. Or you can bring back shit that I want to see, like Hannibal. Like, if you bring back that, fine.
See, same thing's happening here. They're bringing back something somebody wants that people want to see.
But why do you want to see it without Walter White?
We don't know what role Walter plays.
Wait, is he like still alive?
We don't know what role he played. Bryan Cranston was on set. Bryan Cranston is involved with this project.
Crap.
I mean, but so is Mike Ehrmantraut. So the actor Jonathan Pryce.
And how does this go into how does this tie into what's going on with Better Call Saul?
See, that's what I want to watch it for. I need to know all those answers.
Why does everything have to have a universe now?
It
feels like everything has a universe.
If it's a good thing, I don't care. If it's a
really
good universe, I don't care.
Time-consuming.
But that's okay because it's time well spent.
Speaking of time-consuming, we gotta switch over to the Emmys.
Speaking of Emmys, I've watched Breaking Bad 9 times. Like, that's a lot of time to spend, and I do not see there's 1 minute wasted as far as my entertainment goes because I love that show, and every time I watch it, something new comes out of it.
It's a masterclass in cinematography.
It's a masterclass of everything,
writing.
Right? And that's why I was so kind of disappointed in Better Call Saul because Better Call Saul is not as good, except when the Mike parts are there, but it's not as good because it's sort of silly, and that's what Breaking Bad, it has sort of like the way Breaking Bad started, where Breaking Bad was sort of more satirical. It had more of a dark humor to it, and later on it got really heavy. And Better Call Saul tries to be heavy, but Bob Odenkirk's not that great an actor, so it's really hard for him to be heavy. So they make it silly, like the part in the last season where he and Kim were doing the fake disguises and things, and doing all that stuff. I
didn't see it.
Well, you should watch it. It's on Netflix. I can't help it if you haven't watched it. That's 2 years old, but.
Netflix.
So
watch out.
They you watch out. I was there first. So they Kim and Bob Odenkirk do this whole scheme where they can make up these fake identities and do this letter writing camp. Well, that's your fault. It's there. You haven't watched it. It's on you. Everybody else.
It's not on Netflix.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Everybody else. Yes, all seasons are on Netflix. Right now, all seasons are on Netflix.
All right. Well, shout out to Netflix for giving us Better Call Saul. I will check it out.
Because the next one's not coming out the next year.
Because
so.
I would have to wait for like the login for the SAG or whatever.
No, it's
I don't
all
wanna
there.
do all
It's
that.
been there for a year. So the new season just popped up a couple months ago, but
That's good. Okay.
but yeah, it's there for your.
I would like to
entertainment.
catch up because I only missed one season.
Yeah, and
last
it's
season.
but I'm not spoiling it because it's just dumb. Like, and
Okay.
that's the thing is that they pull this scheme, and it's so comical that you're like, what the fuck? Like, how is this anything related to like anything? Because it's so incongruous to like what's happening in the show
Okay.
that you're just like, well, what? And people loved it. They loved it. They're like, oh
You
my
know,
god,
people
this-
were crazy about the Americans, and that got really crazy too.
I stopped watching. I watched the first season of that.
I was
and
like,
thought
what
it was
is
actually really
happening
good.
on this show right now?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
almost had
even
the same
know.
problem with that as I did with Mad Men, where it's like,
Oh,
we're in the
Mad
80s,
Men's
we're in the
so
80s,
fucking
we're in the
annoying.
80s, we're in the 80s, we're in the 80s, we're in the 80s, and I get it, you're in the 80s, okay? Like, even Stranger Things isn't as horrible as that, when it's like, we're in the 80s, like, okay. Although if you have not watched it, American Horror Story 1984
I
is
will not
fucking
watch it.
brilliant, fucking amazing, because they really did take the 80s thing and turn it on its ear. Like, it's a laugh, and it's a middle finger up the asshole of all the nostalgia that's going on right now, because they're just brilliant. They're fucking brilliant, and I cannot wait to see where it goes, because it's already off the rails, and 2 episodes in, it's already gone off the reservation, and I can't wait to see where it's going from here, because I can't figure out where it's going to go.
Okay, that brings us to the Emmys. So nobody watched it, I don't think.
No one watches
had
TV
like the
anymore.
worst ratings ever because people don't want to see rich people get awards anymore. It's not
No,
really fun
I
for
think
them.
I think that the
Well,
the
a lot of
fa-
people
the
don't
fallacy
because
there.
of the political nature of
The fallacy
what
there
they
is I
do.
wonder what the ratings are of the broadcast versus what the clicks are versus the highlights. Because people will watch the individual snippets of things. They're not going to watch the whole telecast.
It's a waste of time. People who are there don't want to be there. Let's be honest.
Dude, I don't know.
Not for 3
I know a
hours.
lot of people that went to the Emmys this year, and they all want to be there. So I don't know about that, but
Well, maybe they were nominated.
well, no, a lot of them just went because they were nominated. I mean, friends of mine went because they were nominated, went because they were associated with some of the shows. Everybody wants to go.
Well, it looks like from the winners list that I'm seeing, it feels like things have got more digitized.
Oh, absolutely, and
to
that's why
the nth degree, and it feels a little more like, I don't know, like a little of it seems like payola kind of stuff, but then a little of it feels like
there is definitely
some satisfaction on the
there is definitely
audience part.
a shift happening
There's a shift,
in these kinds of shows.
and you'll see that.
And the ratings thing is, I think the ratings would be different if they streamed it free.
They really need to get with the times and do that.
Well, YouTube has enough money. Like, I think YouTube should come in and say, okay, here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to, because they stream baseball games. So it's like, why
know.
not stream the Emmys? And I think the ABC wants that stranglehold on it, on the advertising, so they can't do it unless
is
you have...
ABC run
ABC
the Emmys
is,
now?
I think
I thought it was NBC.
I don't know, whatever the network is. They all look the same now. So what NBC does is they're like, okay, we'll shoot it for free if you have cable, right? Not if you have dish or cable.
Which is stupid.
Right, because they still
not
want to get
everyone
the
has
advertising
cable.
money. Right. So they're shooting themselves in the foot. Now, next year, I think you're going to see a different story, because you're going to see a free streamer, because they want those clicks.
It
Because
just
if you-
doesn't make sense when all the shows are streamed.
Right, if they streamed it free,
And then they're
you
not
would see a
streaming.
whole difference in the ratings. You would see a lot more people are paying attention if they streamed it free. If they streamed it free, I would have watched it, because I could watch it at home, and I don't have to worry about going to the
I might
login.
have watched it.
I would have, because I just would have had it on. You know, even if I wasn't
I
watching
probably
it
would have.
necessarily, I would have had it on. And the Oscars, the
It's
same
more
thing.
likely that I'd see it. Like
Right.
like you were saying, like if it was on YouTube at some point, like you would see on the banner, you'd be like, oh well, let me check it out.
Right. I'm not paying for it, but
Yeah,
I'm already paying for it.
let's just check it out.
Right. So they should start a deal with YouTube and make some money, because you can watch all the debates live, right, on YouTube. So,
Yeah, so
I
like,
can do
why-
that. Or because you have to actually. They have to be a free method of being able to watch those. That's that's the law. But there's no reason that you can't do that for these big events like the Oscars and the Emmys, because more people would watch the whole broadcast. Because I think if you took the individual clips of somebody's speech or somebody's acceptance award, you would see a whole different rating skew.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would see, like for Barry, right? I see it listed there. If you want to
Should've
go
won.
later doing something, if there's a speech, people are going to watch his individual speech. You're not going to just watch the whole telecast just to see that. But they're going to watch the individual highlights. So people will be interested in the opening monologues or the other things they do. If they just stream them as the broadcast, they'd watch it. But yeah, I mean the Emmys. I mean there's been. I mean pretty much what is expected for me this year because they have the Miss Maisel bullshit. They have the
Which
Fleabag bullshit. A lot of
They
popular
really
things.
tried with that one, with that nomination. They were like making everything 50s or something.
They made the
in
Maisel
LA,
thing,
it
the
was so
30s. Yeah, they
stupid.
made everything back
Not
to the
30s,
30s.
50s.
Maisel's in the 30s. It's a 30s Jewish circle,
Oh.
right? Yeah. The 1933 prices.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like
so,
the prices, yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
So,
30s.
the Fleabag thing, but see, that's what the
I've
shit...
seen one episode.
I won't
of
watch
that.
it because I already know I won't like it.
I already, when it first began, I watched the pilot, and I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this anymore.
No, it just seems like a pandering
it's just
thing.
depressing.
And but the shift is happening in that the
That's
leadership,
not a comedy. I'm sorry.
the leadership of the academies, right, the television academy and the movie academy are becoming a little more diverse, more women, more minorities. So you're seeing that reflection in the nominations of these things.
Well, let's get to the nomination.
Well, that's what I'm setting this up. So in the winners of the things, so you see Fleabag become a hit because there are more women and minorities who are in the academy who are voting for these things. We're going to make sure these things win. It's not because it's good. It's because they want to have their voices
She won
heard.
a lot of things. It's very suspicious.
Well, they went out there and they campaigned really hard.
She
and,
won a lot.
And social media was dominated by this show. My Facebook feed was filled with this shit. We have their comments and their it's like you see one person go, "Oh, I saw Fleabag," and then you see, and I know because I know my Facebook feed and I know my people in it that I know that eventually these other 20 people.
On the other hand, I did see a lot of Killing Eve love on Twitter, and that's
because Hulu. That's because it's the Hulu show, and Hulu is like second class and Twitter's second class.
Wait, Hulu?
Isn't it Hulu? Or
I thought it was on, like,
some
a British
I know it's some
network.
off-brand.
Like BBC or some shit.
Well, I know, but it's broadcast out. It's streamed someplace else. I know maybe it's Stars. It's some second tier thing, but it's Twitter's second tier. So like that's where it gets dominated because Twitter is like the bastard stepchild.
So as we've just revealed, Fleabag won Best Comedy, and then Best Drama went to, get this, guess.
I don't have to guess. It's right there. Just tell me.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's fine. Game of Thrones is a fucking
But are
monumental
they
achievement
going?
in television.
But the thing is, like, people are like, what? But are they going on the last season?
No, they're going on the whole thing as a whole.
Season?
They're going the whole thing as an achievement.
And
even this season, like, people can talk shit about it, but there's nothing else on television like Game of Thrones. Nothing. There's nothing like that. Until the Lord of the Rings thing comes out. But like Game of Thrones, production values, writing, character arcs, everything, even in season 8, there's nothing like that on TV. That is something that is singular. And the money, the time, the concentration,
pop culture phenomenon.
Well, but it became that. But even without it, it's like Downton Abbey. Like even Downton Abbey had that. But Downton Abbey had the same thing Game of Thrones
boring.
had. But it's boring, but it's still unlike anything else on television. The attention to detail.
You know, the new Downton Abbey, I think, is The Crown. It's so boring.
But The Crown is built on that, on the bones of Downton Abbey.
When they get to Diana's murder, maybe I'll be interested.
Right, but The Crown is built on the bones of that. Because I'll admit, I would have never watched anything like Downton Abbey in a million years. But I thought it was Downtown Abbey, and so I thought it was like a cop show or something. So,
oh dear.
And I kept hearing about it, so I was like, I'm going to watch this. So I watched it. And I admit I was fucking charmed by it. I was like, this is a charming show. It's like upstairs, downstairs. Like, it's a really charming kind of British thing about the servant class and the other thing. The characters were compelling. I love Maggie Smith. I think that there's a lot of great characters in it. And so I thought, this is really cool. And I ended up watching a lot of it up to the end of it. And I'm not going to see the movie until it comes on. If I can strip it, but I'm going to pirate it. But, or until it comes on Netflix or something. But it was like, it's not a bad show, but it is definitely like a committed show. Like it's every detail in it is committed. You really do believe you're just looking into a window into pre-World War I Europe. Like that's a really cool idea, and I thought it deserved all the awards it got because it really did immerse you in a world. That's what Game of Thrones does. Like it immerses you in a world, or like Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings, the first 2 movies didn't get a lot of love. But the third one got all the awards, right? Because it is the culmination of somebody making a movie in 2 years, making 3 movies on $75 million that look like $1 billion. Like they really put care and time to that.
Speaking of looking like $1 million, Bill Hader won for Barry.
Bill Hader's a talent.
For outstanding lead actor.
Bill Hader's a talent. There's no denying.
He's a great writer as well, and he used to work for South Park back in the day. He would do some writing.
I don't think it surprised me. He's a real talent, and he's one of these guys that like.
South Park's back, by the way.
He could win an Emmy, but he's still flying under the radar. You know, and I don't think he could ever like. I don't watch the show, to be honest with you, so I have no idea like what the show is.
It's very Breaking Bad-ish with acting classes.
It seems like a ripoff to me, like
an
and from the theme
version.
song is very like jazzy. It seems like it's appealing to a certain crowd, like the Silver Lake crowd, and so I don't
Actors.
well, actors and like comedians and
Improvs.
like yeah, and it's sort of
Improvisers.
like that sort of turns me off because like, the marketing turns me off because I feel like it's not marketing to me, so I don't think I'm
That's
gonna like
true.
it. And plus, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't really go out anymore. So like if I was still out in the comedy scene, I would definitely have watched it because people would be asking me about it, and I would have to have some sort of opinion. But I'm not out there anymore, so I don't really care. So I don't watch a lot of things now because
Like he's like a very complex character. He's like
that's fine. And Henry
I think
was
he's
in
an
it too, which one I
ex-Marine,
like.
and he's been through PTSD and stuff, and he's like dealing with shit. But then he also has
That sounds
a
dangerous.
hunger for flesh.
That sounds like it might.
He likes to kill
roll
people.
the incels to me. That
He likes
sounds
to
like,
kill people, yeah.
There might be some sort of
And
Inception
he
there.
has a love interest who doesn't know enough about him
Right.
in that season.
Well, just watch Grosse Point Blank, and you'll get the whole story in a movie that's great and 2 hours long.
And then outstanding lead actress in a comedy series. Well, what do you know? It's Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all politics.
Again, I don't understand. And then
Well, my favorite thing to come out of the Emmys is this big clamor
oh my gosh, Stephen Root.
to merge the categories and get rid of the male-female division and just have one actor thing. But then men would win every time. Men are way better actors than women, and they would like win every single time. Like no one's going to the movies to watch women. No one's going to the TV shows to watch women. Nobody. Like they want to make. They're talking about the women in the Marvel universe movies get paid a lot less than the men do. Right? And I'm like, well, of course they do, because who's going to the movies to see Scarlett Johansson? You ask any woman who they're going to go see in these movies, they're going to say fucking Robert Downey Jr. Like, that's why he got $30 million a movie, and it's like a multi...
Ain't nobody going to the movies to see Brie Larson either.
No one's going to see movies to see fucking Brie Larson.
Sorry, Brie.
No one's going to... Now, if you started Black Widow, because I like Scarlett Johansson, I like her Black Widow, I like her in the movies, I'm going to go see her movie, I think it's going to be good. But you have to... Robert Downey Jr. took 10 years to build up. Like, that's what people talk about these Marvel movies, like... That Iron Man character took 10 years to get where it got at Endgame. Like, it took that long. So you can't just throw Brie Larson in there and expect her to, like, be the champion that everybody wants, because although I think she's okay, it's going to take 10 years to build her up to something that people care about. Like, that just because, and it's going to take longer for her because she's a woman. No one really cares. So, and that's just a hard fact. That's not me being a misogynist. That's just a hard fact.
I think back in the 90s, there was a lot more draw to the women in the movies, like who had big roles, like Sandra Bullock and Julia Roberts back in the day.
Yes,
and,
but look at the parts they were playing.
Yeah.
I mean, or who's directing the men, right?
Yeah.
Because the men understood what they wanted to see, and they still had to do something womanly in the movie. Like, Sandra Bullock never got like a hard role. Like, even she played like The Blind Side, which is a pretty heavy movie. It's
or
still
Crash.
But Crash wasn't her movie.
Yeah,
so,
but she was in it.
She was in it, but it wasn't her movie. Like, the draw was not her.
That's true. She wasn't the draw.
The draw
like,
was
the draw
the subject matter of Paul
matter.
Haggis. Like, that was the draw of that movie. So,
but like,
I mean, even Julia Roberts, like Erin Brockovich, she did well in that. I mean, maybe Julia Roberts might be the exception to that. You might have had a male-sized draw for Julia Roberts for a movie that she did for a second, for like 2 or 3 movies. Right, but
Gina Davis for a while was a real
draw.
I
don't think she could have drawn as a lead. I mean, you had the Long Kiss Goodnight was probably like the biggest part she ever had.
I really liked that.
And I think that the subject matter was a lead there. But I don't think the movie didn't really do that well. I mean, it did well, but it wasn't like a blockbuster hit.
Would you say that Sam L. Jackson is a draw, like
in that
like
case,
in the Will Smith kind of way?
No.
I don't think. I think it's nice when he's there.
He's not a lead.
I feel like he's like John Goodman. It's nice when he's there.
Yeah. But
you don't really need him.
He's not a lead. He flavors things.
Yeah, like John Goodman does. Like he kind of makes the movie a little
John
bit better.
Goodman's not a lead.
Yeah,
and I think
they tried to make him a lead, and it was a total disaster.
He's done like Kingfisher. Like the movie for HBO, and he was good in that. He was great in that, where he played
King Ralph.
And
That's an old
King
one.
Ralph was a comedy, and it didn't work out that well. Although King Ralph has become a cultural touchstone, nonetheless, even though it didn't make a lot of money, it still persists in the cultural zeitgeist because it reminded.
They were trying to make. Remember when they were trying to make Richard Pryor into this big guy?
Well, Richard Pryor did well though. Richard Pryor was a draw.
The Brewster's Millions.
Well, but Brewster's Millions was late in his cinematic career. He did movies in like
But this was when he was like, this was his shot.
But no. I mean, that was like his shot at the '80s money. But he made movies in the '60s and '70s or the '70s as well. That
Silver Streak.
Silver Streak with Gene Wilder. He did movies. I'm trying to think of the other ones. He did a couple. He was like a race car driver.
Toys. Toys with
The Toy, not Toys.
No, it's Toys.
No, it's The Toy.
Is it?
Yes.
God damn it.
And that's where he plays.
Why am I wrong all the time?
He gets bought by a white kid.
The Toy.
With Jackie Gleason.
That's a fucked up movie.
Jackie Gleason was the draw.
But it was hilarious.
Prior, so.
That's.
Yeah, it was Jackie Gleason
Robin Williams was in that.
No, Robin Williams was in Toys with Joan Cusack in the '90s.
Oh. What?
Yeah, I promise you.
Oh, yeah. I got those two confused.
No, and the Toy is like reviled these days, so you'll never see it or find it anywhere.
Richard Donner. Okay.
Yeah, who directed Superman.
I know him.
Superman movie.
I've heard of him.
And a bunch of action movies in the 80s.
In many ways. Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon.
Oh, Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon was his...
when they were making Danny Glover into this cool dude.
Well, that wasn't Danny Glover. That was Mel Gibson was a draw there. So Danny Glover was the flavor.
He
was the color commentary.
Oh, dear.
Right?
Yeah.
But Richard Donner, I mean, but those movies in the 80s...
Will Smith really made it, huge.
Well, I mean, he got
major box
Bruce
office.
Willis is
now
a big draw.
If he gets into Gemini Man and it doesn't do well, it's just like.
Well, Gemini Man, I think
maybe he's going the Jim Carrey route.
No,
people are just kind of getting a little disinterested.
Will Smith will always have his audience,
even though he's on YouTube now.
I think that he played. Because he kills on social media, kills it. So I think he has a built-in audience that are going to go see anything he does, and he's really did a great job.
Did you see Aladdin?
I did. I liked it.
I could have watched it on the plane, but I chose.
It's fine.
Us.
I mean, I think you kind of have to like the original cartoon version.
I chose Us, and now I'm stuck with that in my head.
Us wasn't bad. It just wasn't as great as everybody thought it was.
I don't know what. I still don't know what happened.
It was a great Twilight Zone episode. Let me put it that way. It was a great TV.
It would have been better if it made a tiny lick of sense.
Yeah,
just a teeny lick.
Well, I mean, I could answer any question. It made sense. It just wasn't. It didn't make sense in the best way possible.
Yeah.
But there's nothing about it that doesn't make sense.
Then I watched Isn't It Romantic right after that, and I was like, it makes sense at least.
That's the Rebel Wilson.
And I was surprised I wasn't that surprised.
It looks funny. I want to see it.
I really liked Andy Devine. Is that his name?
No.
Andy Devine in that.
I don't know those people.
Such a basic ass name. Andy Devine.
No, you generally had.
Oh wait, there's a dude from back in the day called Andy Devine. I think I'm thinking.
No,
Adam
you definitely
Devine.
had male draws back.
Adam
Will Smith.
Devine.
I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone were huge male draws in the '80s. You could just base a movie on those.
There he is, Adam Devine from Pitch Perfect, and he was in Workaholics back in the day when people watched.
Yeah, you're watching that. I don't have no clue about those.
But it was one of his better performances because he was kind of playing the character that you the opposite of her a little bit, because he had plenty of confidence, but she shoots him down all the time and doesn't notice that he's hitting on her in the movie. So he's kind of having his own journey at the same time. It's kind of lame, but it's a 90s kind of lame. I liked it. So.
No, it seemed like a good movie.
It was an interesting
it seemed
film.
Funny.
It was obvious from the beginning what it was about. Like that Frozen thing where it's like, accept yourself.
Well,
love
the trailer
yourself,
sort of explained all that too.
So
and
you didn't really wonder what was going on. So.
No, it wasn't that kind of movie.
Yeah.
It's just a straightforward.
It was just a fun little 90s throwback.
Yeah, like a switcheroo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Aladdin was good. Aladdin was good because it's interesting because it's a Guy Ritchie movie. And...
what the fuck, though? Would you have thought... No, tell me. Would you have thought Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, you watched that...
Or Switch. Or on a Snatch, or
whatever it was.
Or even Sherlock Holmes,
you're this dude is totally gonna make Aladdin.
But you know what? Once I saw King Arthur, King Arthur movie, I thought, no, he can make Aladdin. Aladdin would work because Aladdin's about the same kind of thing. It's about the same kind of street urchin, street level kid who becomes something more than everybody expects him to be, and he has to sort of grow into the part, right? And that's what Aladdin is about with music and a genie. But that's what King Arthur... And his King Arthur is actually really good because it plays up the Guy Ritchie parts of it.
Which one is that? Is that the
that's
one with
Charlie
the...
Hunnam.
Oh.
And Charlie Hunnam plays Arthur. And
Keira Knightley isn't in it? That's a different one?
No,
See, why do I have to think of different ones?
Yeah, I don't know.
From the 2000s.
But it's actually really good and worth watching because it has that Guy Ritchie feel to it. of a lot of like street chases and a lot of this urchin becoming more than he is, and a lot of like this down and gritty sort of crime level. Because Arthur's group of people are all like these like ne'er-do-wells. Like it's really good. It's
like
really
what
good.
if what if Danny Boyle or somebody did like Akira, like a live action Akira or some shit.
I don't think Danny Kirk. Well, all right. I mean,
Again, like it's out of nowhere.
I can see. But see, he does those kind of movies. Like that would work for him because Akira is about these outcasts and misfits that sort of find their way in this world that's bigger than them. It is an immersive world. So you think of something like 28 Days Later that Danny Boyle did. That is a very immersive and about these outsiders and insiders.
What did you think of the sequel?
I thought it was fine. It was the same as the first one. I hadn't seen like
it felt kind of like similar.
I didn't see an increase or decrease in it, but it was still a continuation of that story, which is fine. And that's I appreciate movies that do that. That if they can't make them better, at least make them the same. Because don't make it worse. So like you think of like Iron Man 2, like people hate Iron Man 2, but
I'm in that.
You're Iron Man 2? That's awesome.
That was my first job in movies.
That's fucking rad. So, but Iron Man 2 are like the same movie. Iron Man 2 is no better or worse than Iron Man 1.
Also, I saw something that wasn't in the movie on set that would have made it better.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Oh yeah. So his dad, like this whole scene with John Slattery, I think is his name from.
It doesn't matter.
Mad Men. Anyway, and originally from Ed. Oh my gosh, that's sad that I know that. And then, so he was doing this whole like he was showing this world and everything. I can't remember exactly what it was. He's kind of like a Disney kind of dude, and he's like showing all this. This stuff that's going to be in the future.
Yeah, the expo, right?
Yeah, at the expo. And it went into real big detail about his background with his... I don't remember everything, so I'm not the best person, but the dad and the relationship between him and Tony Stark is very well defined in that little piece that they showed to us as the expo, like...
Yeah,
the main
I can see why they didn't show
centerpiece
that. I can see why
thing.
They didn't have that because they needed more of the illusion that Tony and Harold or Howard, his dad, had.
Who's probably a little bit based on Howard Hughes as well.
Howard Hughes. He's based on Howard Hughes and Walt Disney in the movies.
Yeah.
But I think they had to really keep their relationship a little more contentious. So because it all pays off later in Endgame when Tony goes back in time and meets his dad.
Also, I think Tony was in like the shot. I don't remember exactly, but I think while he was filming this like message, he was like in the background doing his kid shit, and he was like, "Oh, Tony."
They have a little bit of that in the movie. They have a touch of that in there.
Yeah.
But you have to keep the relationship a little bit dicey. And
also, that was in El Segundo. Fun.
Because in
I had never been to El Segundo before that.
Yeah, that's where the airport.
My roommate drove me there, and we did it. And we were both on set, so we both did the extra work on that movie.
That's fun. I'm going there for a wedding.
This is my first ever gig as an extra, as an actor in a film.
My first ever gig as an extra.
And we had a moment though, because our DJ was there and he was taking his pills and shit. Which was like, all right, new drug, all right, cool. And then at one point, he was gearing up for the scene. And then people were like really excited for him to like get into the thing. And he's like, oh, let me get into character or whatever. And then I said, give him a moment or something.
Yeah, we met him.
And then he's like, thank you. Or he like looked at me and we had a little moment.
Yeah, we had a guy on the inside at Marvel who I was running this Comic-Con panel for Iron Man for the first one. Or actually leading into the second one. So John Favreau, RDJ, and a couple of people were on this panel. So he calls Heather. He's like, hey, you want to meet Robert Downey Jr.? Well, I'm going to have him outside the door right before the panel starts. Like, just be here and you can meet him. And so we all went over there, like three of us went over there and like met him. And he's really nice. He was like so happy to like talk to everybody that was out there. Like he would just seem like such a nice guy. He was
very nice to everybody. And then like Clay was his stunt guy who was in the costume. So I got to see Clay up close and personal. I'm like really close to them, like off the stage. And then they tried to make me change shoes into like these horrible, uncomfortable shoes, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Like,
so I kept my shoes on.
Yeah, I would never.
Nobody's gonna see my fucking feet. Who cares? I'm not gonna do that to myself. I did it for far too long to too. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense how long I did it for.
Yeah, except
but we
like,
did.
why?
We did 2 days of the shooting, and I made $276 or so from those 2 days. It was real good.
$276 versus RDJ's. He was probably making $16 million for that movie.
And Jon Favreau was up there, and he was talking about the next scene they were going to do with a car stunt, and they were doing it at night, and it was kind of overwhelming for him.
Who made all those guys?
I think it was something to do with that guy, the guy Mickey Rourke played.
Whiplash.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he was involved in that.
Where is board? Where does love want to my board?
Indeed. And then wasn't the Gandhi guy in there? The Ben
Kingsley.
Kingsley?
He was in Iron Man 3.
And then yeah. Was he in both, or was he only in the
He was
Iron Man
in
3?
the stinger for Iron
I don't
Man
remember.
2, I think.
I really should watch the movie.
Yeah, no, he's in Iron Man 3. It's only on Prime, by the way. Yeah.
Also, I couldn't see myself, so that was really depressing for me.
Oh.
But I did see myself in Jack and Jill, so there's that.
The Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah,
I want to see
because
that.
Johnny
I
Depp
really
was
watched that.
in front of us. He was a couple of seats in front with Al Pacino in the and he was doing a cameo with Al, and I was behind them, and I didn't have to get up and walk. Everybody else was walking down the steps, reset, walking down the steps, reset. I'm like, I ain't doing that. I'm going to sit here and look at the back of Johnny Depp's head. And that's what I did. And then I looked at the fucking tennis ball that Adam was holding up. And this is so surreal.
This will be my other person. This is me.
Oh my gosh.
This is Jill.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous.
That's my Adam Sandler. It's almost like a trailer.
It was at Staples Center too. We shot it there.
Yeah. No. I've actually never done any movie extra work.
And
I've
I've
only done TVs.
hiring the guy who played Don Cucino in that movie that I was also in for Coffee Shop Dance Off, one of my first projects.
Yeah, no, I've
So it
never
all
done.
came back.
I've never done movie extra work. I've only done TV extra work.
It's fun.
Yeah, I don't seem like I would like it. My first TV extra work was The Closer.
You get paid a little more, I think. Social Network was really good. It was 10 seconds of footage that we were in, and it was 10 hours of a day.
Yeah, no, I've never.
Because David Fincher was really on his shit. He's we got to get this right.
Yeah, see, it seems to me I would
Brenda, do it again.
I wouldn't like the movie ones because that's the way that they have to be so regimented. And the TV ones.
Brenda's song was so annoyed by the whole thing.
The TV ones are so loose, it's just more fun, and I think they move quicker, and you do more stuff, you do more things. There's more scenes being shot in the day where you can do stuff on a TV set than whatever I think on a movie set.
It's a big movie. You have plenty of time to be there. They're going to take their time.
Yeah.
And also, Christopher Nolan did that a lot on The Dark Knight Rises, which I was in. Technically, I was a part of it. And it was called Magnus Rex on set, so as to be discreet. So
yeah, Heather, my roommate, she did Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man.
Oh, and I have the bullet. I have to show you the bullet.
Okay.
I have a bullet. I had a badge from that movie from Cat, but she gave me the bullet, so I have the bullet from set that she got.
What are you talking about again? What movie?
The Dark Knight Rises.
All right.
On that note, I did want to let you guys know. Finally, I went to New York, so that happened, and there's a video on YouTube that kind of blew up in 2015, which is from 1979, the archives of David Hoffman. Shout out to David Hoffman. And it's called 1979 Wall Street. How is it different from today, or something like that? And it's interviews about society. And so I did that myself because I wanted to see an update of it 40 years later, and other people wanted to. And I was like, well, if other people want it, and if that's what the public wants, that's what the public will get. And I will do it myself, because the best thing to do is to get shit done yourself. So I went over to Wall Street on 9/10. It wasn't 9/10? Yeah, 9/10. And right before 9/11. And
what a coincidence.
The day before. And on 9/11, I was in Brooklyn. But anyway, I went over there in the afternoon when it was time for people to go back to work and stuff. So it wasn't the best timing in the world. But I did get several participants, and you can hear that footage right now, because I'm going to play it for you right here. Input footage here.
Show. You should just do a whole podcast about that. Why are you doing it on this? No one's listening to this. You should do a whole special.
This is the special. We're going to do a special next month too for my birthday.
No, you should do a whole encapsulated
30th
special about your
episode.
interview. Because you did interviews out here too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are you doing on here for?
Don't
Why don't you
worry
make it
about
a whole thing about it?
That's okay.
Or why don't you send them to me first so I could hear them, so at least we could discuss them?
We'll discuss them later then.
I'm not going to listen to it, though. Listen to it when you send it to me, but I don't listen to it now.
Okay, well, this is where the footage is going.
All right, I'll insert that there. I'll insert that in post.
What do you think of when I say conspiracy?
Con.
Con?
C-O-N.
Okay. Who do you think has power right now in society?
The media.
The media? And why?
Those who control the information flow control society.
Okay, great. What about privacy?
We don't have it anymore.
Do you think governments have more power than corporations?
Not anymore.
How do you feel about social media?
Exposure.
What do you think of when I say computers?
Everyday tool.
What do you think of when I say the word conspiracy? Whatever comes to your mind.
Government.
And now we are back to the outro. And so thank you so much for joining me today, Stephen.
That was amazing. Wow, that was incredible.
It was. We'll discuss this this footage that you just heard in the next episode because we have to cut it up a little bit. But because there was so much fucking news. So we will discuss that next time on the 30th episode. The 30th episode! We made it 30 episodes.
30.
Finally! And so that'll be really exciting and around my birthday as well. So maybe after, I don't know. But I will see you
When's
guys
your birthday
then.
again?
October 27th. When's your birthday so I can put it on my calendar?
I'm not going to put it on my calendar. I'm just going to see what day it is. It's a Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
How gratuitous.
I don't know if I'm actually going to do it on a Sunday.
Why not? What else are you doing? What do you do for your birthday? Nothing.
I do. I do something Saturday night.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, you
What
can
are
call.
you doing Saturday night?
I'm not getting into that right now.
No, I
Anyway,
don't know. I think if people want to know. What are you doing Saturday night? I got to know.
karaoke.
Oh, right. Okay, I like what you do.
Karaoke. So which I did in New York too, which was really fun. So thank you so much for
So
coming.
you should do a whole. When I leave here right now, you should do a whole New York podcast just about your adventures in New York, and then put your interviews in that, because I'm telling you that's going to be way. People are going to hear that way more. They're going to hear more of that way than if you do it this way. You should only preview the interviews here and then make a whole New York special on your own.
Okay.
Because I think that's important. I'm telling you, you're the one that wants to get out there and be viral.
No,
this is how
yeah.
you do that. So if you're this is not the place to hold the whole interview. You should just have a couple of snippets here, right, where you preview the interviews. If you want to hear more of the interviews, I'm going to do a whole.
Okay,
Steve
hold
is
on.
gone.
Let me
he's
go.
going to be involved in it.
And I also did one in Hollywood, so I'll be uploading that as well. And then we can discuss that a little bit further in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening.
I meant to tell you something because
I can't do all this in editing.
well, because I know, because on 9/11 I didn't hear from you, because we talk about, I hear from Elle almost every day sometimes, especially when you're gone, I hear from you every day, and I didn't hear from you on 9/11, and all day I didn't hear from you. I was like, oh my god, because you guys don't know about Elle. She's a 9/11 truther. So I thought she's going to go down to the ground zero. She's going to start throwing out this truther bullshit to people, and someone's going to kick her ass. And
it's
I thought,
not bullshit.
No, whatever. It's bullshit to people. In New York, it's bullshit to them. So
no, it isn't, because there was actually a video of a conference with the people in the first responders who came out and said that they wanted an actual investigation.
But if you went down to ground zero on 9/11 and started talking that
there was
bullshit,
a guy
who
was killed in an explosion that isn't even recognized as something that happened.
Besides all that, if you went down there talking
yes,
ground
let's
zero
just go straight to conspiracy theory.
No, if you went down there to ground zero and talked that bullshit,
not a theory.
Someone's going to kick your ass, right? So that's
No.
what I thought for sure you got.
No,
checked.
because most people believe that we
And
weren't told the
not
entire
11 they
truth.
don't. Not 11 they don't. Like,
Yes,
if you went
they
down there
do.
And try to tell an ex-firefighter that shit, he would kick your ass. Like, I'm just telling
Not
you,
if they were there,
a
because
man
they would
would hit a
know
woman
that
in
there
the
was
face
something going on
over
that
that
they
shit.
weren't told
That's
by
fine.
the government.
That's fine. Then you know what? Next year when you go down there, try that and see what happens. Just be careful because someone's going to punch you in the face.
I don't know why we got to this point. Like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
because you were talking about your interviews, and I was saying that I didn't hear from you on 9/11, so I thought for sure you were in the hospital getting your
Because
ass
you
kicked.
think the worst of me. You think I'm a piece of shit.
No.
And that I would go get my ass kicked in
I thought
public.
you would definitely want to spread your theory. Like,
It's not a theory. There's no theory that the government lied to us on that day. They did. There's proof of that. There's proof of interference in the investigation
where's the news-
from
where's the
the
news story
people
on that?
within the investigation
where's
who
the
were supposed to be
independent news story on that?
investigating it.
Where's like a legitimate news source that says that thing?
There's plenty of legitimate news sources.
Okay, I'll wait for the links.
That gets me riled
See, you're
up
always
because I
look-
don't appreciate being
you're
called as
overlooking
conspiracy
the fact.
theorist
You're
when I'm
overlooking the
totally
fact.
just asking for the facts of
You're
the
overlooking
situation.
the fact that I was worried about you. Isn't it nice to know that someone worries about you?
George Bush was lying about everything, and so was Dick Cheney, and so was Rumsfeld. Actually, Rumsfeld told the truth the day before 9/11 when he said that trillions went missing from the Pentagon. And what do you know? The office that does the analysis of the budget just goes ahead and gets...
Wait, what bear is that? That's a different bear.
I know, Barry's gone. Get over
Where'd he
it.
go?
He dead. He
Let
died.
me see that bear.
No.
Al has a bear.
We are done.
Hey, you didn't give me a plug.
Thanks for listening. Here's the plug.
You can see me on the internet, on Facebook. I have Twitter. I forgot. There was a plug. I forgot what it was. See Joker in theaters October 4th.
Let's promote that.
Fucking up my day.
It's not promoted enough.
I'm gonna go see it. I don't care. I think it'd be a piece of shit, but you know, it's AMC A-list, whatever. I'm not paying for it, so.
Oh, are you sad about Movie Pass?
Yeah.
We
I'm
have
totally
to
sad
talk about
Movie
that
Pass.
next time.
That was the greatest. I knew what's sad about Movie Pass. That I don't go to the Lemley anymore. That was the worst part of that. I love going to Lemley to see all the little throwback.
Lindley
Thursdays.
is fun.
Well, they have all these really cool outside programming things that I like to go see, and Movie Pass paid for those. And now the $13. Like, I'm not going to.
I told you that shit was going down, man.
But that's because I don't know. People, they brought it down. Like, there was no reason for that to happen. It could have existed the way it had. They could have had it, and every movie theater would have.
Oh, do you have a
benefited from it.
conspiracy theory about this?
Well, there's no conspiracy. AMC A-list is now movie because they stole the same model,
All shit.
and they took that shit away from Movie Pass and really went out there with an anti-Movie Pass campaign to tear it down. And then not just that, but people individually were gaming their system because that's what people do because they're fucking trash. So they were gaming their system and costing them money they didn't have to spend, scalping tickets off people, and then Movie Pass just had no room to catch up and figure out how to stop that without making everybody disgruntled. So they grew too fast, too quickly, too big, but they're getting bought. The guy who originally ran them, who left after it started doing all this bullshit, is buying them again, and he's gonna try to figure out how to make it work. And I'm like, okay, keep trying to figure it out because if you can figure out how to make it work, even if it went to $15 a month, even if it was $20 a month, I would pay $20 a month for the benefits that original Movie Pass had. And that if they did $20 a month price point and try to get these fucking movie theaters on board, because AMC just had wanted nothing to do with them and wanted their own thing, so they just trashed them. And they're like, well, we're not going to honor it. We're going to spread this rumor out here that you can't go to AMC with it, which you could, but we're going to close down these theaters.
Wow, he has a lot of thoughts on this.
But it's true. While it was all happening, you could see it in the actual news happening. You could see it going down. So it was like you could see it being torn down, and people that loved it. I used that shit like 50 times. Like, it was amazing, and it was a great way to keep the movie theater experience alive. And that's really the only reason that I really wish it had succeeded, because people would keep going to the movies, and the movie theaters would improve the experience there rather than just rest on their laurels. And I have to go to AMC now because AMC is right next door. It's right next door to my house. So it's like I'm going to go there because I'm going to spend $20 a month and get 3 movies a week. Which is 12 movies a month, which is at their $20 a ticket. So that's like, what, $240 a month that I'm getting for $24 or $20. So, yeah, I'm going to do that shit. But I'd rather go to the Lemley, where it's friendlier and cheaper for buy popcorn and shit, and support an independent theater rather than support AMC. But
So plug.
get AMC A-List from AMC. It's $20. Well, it's $25 a month now for new people, and it's well worth it because you can go see IMAX movies, you can go see 3D movies, you can go see any other movie for the price of nothing, of $6 a movie, and you get discounts on concessions and everything else too. So if you have to go to AMC, do that. If you can't go to AMC, every other plan sucks balls. The Regal one, the Landmark ones, the Cinemark ones all suck balls, so don't buy into those. Just go to Matinee.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Elle Latham and on YouTube again, aka Elle Latham. And he's on Twitter as well, but not as much as I am.
My Facebook posts to Twitter, so I kind of am on there, and I get like responses sometimes to what I post on Facebook. But I'm rarely on. I'm rarely on anything these days. I don't post anything political anymore. I don't post anything with any kind of teeth in it because there's no way to navigate the current culture, and so you'll see like movie reviews from me or TV reviews on there. Occasionally, you might see a commentary on something that I understand. That's very neutral because I can't deal with people's bullshit anymore, and nobody wants to hear truth like you have, or like no one wants to hear facts anymore. They just want to fight. On a sidebar, there's a great YouTube video out right now of Adam Conover talking to Joe Rogan. It's a great video because it's a great indication of facts versus compassion. And although Adam is in a very good place compassion wise, he has no clue he's talking about fact wise.
No,
right? It's
awkward.
And it just to give the subject matter,
the comments are great.
It's an argument about trans athletes.
Yes.
And Joe Rogan sort of giving like the physical, like the actual factual reason why having a trans woman athlete is not acceptable in a woman's sport. Mm-hmm. And Adam's trying to say that it should all be one thing, and Joe's breaking it down to him scientifically, and Adam can't handle it. And although I love Adam's show and I like him, he is lost in this episode.
That made me not appreciate his show as much anymore.
As much as I hate Joe Rogan, I hate giving Joe Rogan props, but he broke it down and he stays really calm.
He does. He has that issue.
He breaks it down, and you can tell he's thought it out and he's researched everything that he has to say. And he's into nutrition and he's into athletes and athletics and sports, so he knows what he's talking about. Yeah. Adam Conover fucking does a stand up in 10 years. He doesn't know. So he brings it down. So let me tell you what, that's a great example. Regardless of what you think about an issue, it's a great example of facts versus compassion. And that's why I don't really post political stuff on Facebook anymore, because no one wants to hear facts. No one wants to hear what's really going down, or they want to hear you're being manipulated, right? Because I'll fall into the same trap like Elle accuses me of. It's like they'll start talking to me about conspiracy theories. I'm like, I am so far from that. I'm just telling you what is there. I will lay out something for you and lay out the points for you in legitimate sources that say, here's how the media.
Who decides who's legitimate?
I would say
the CIA is a legitimate source. I'm not sure about
not necessarily, but I would say a news source like Al Jazeera to me is a legitimate news source because they don't adhere to any.
They just whitewash some war crimes, which is
in their editorial thing,
sugar-coated.
But their news is not like that. And even Fox News, the channel.
Shout out to Afghanistan, by the way.
Fox News, the channel, versus Fox News, the news source, are completely different, because Fox News, the news source, is pretty good because they're pervasive. They'll give you the straight story. The people on there are not Republicans necessarily. They work for Fox, but the news network is legitimate, whereas their punditry network is not legitimate.
But for a long time, a legitimate news source of MSNBC was spreading complete conspiracy theories about the president and his relationship with the foreign leader.
Well, even they're not. But even look at you see a change from BBC, for example. Used to be a legitimate news source. Used to be able to go there for impartial news.
Until they started caping for the pedophile.
Well, until they started dying, and so they needed to buy into Rupert Murdoch
and the Iraq War,
and Sky News, and all
Tony
these
Blair,
things, right? So and they're being anti-American, and so you have these legitimate news sources that sort of died out. CNN used to be a legitimate news source because their news network was really pervasive too.
Well, 24/7 news is just, it was not a good idea. I think it's obvious.
It was a good
right
idea. It turned into something bad.
Ended up being the
right.
worst fucking
I think
thing.
it's interesting and exciting.
And you have to make up stuff sometimes.
Well, I think it's interesting and exciting to have news on tap 24 hours because you want to know if you wake up at 4 in the morning, something's happening across the globe.
Yeah, but if it's talking about the same shit for 24 hours,
that's what ended up
really
happening.
annoying.
But they had to fill it in with this bullshit and then infotainment
And that's what they do,
shows.
and then they ignore other stories that are still pertinent, like the Flint water crisis, for example.
Right. Or
and
they
all the
bury
other
it
Florida
because
crisis.
Because CNN International does have some pretty legit stuff, but it's at 4 in the morning in the U.S., so no one's listening to that stuff. But the guys on there work really hard, and they bring up real news stories, but no one ever sees it because it's buried. But yeah, that's I look at a legitimate news source as something that's not fringe, but definitely has the responsibility of viewership to it. Right.
I hope when you're saying fringe, you're saying like Alex Jones fringe, like
any website that has the word truth in it, any website that has the word world in it, any website that has any political word in it or freedom, those are not legitimate news sources. You want something that has the
true pundit,
right? Or free world or
I try not
republic,
to use those as sources.
Right, or truth
ever.
in politics, none of that.
There's
is
no
legitimate.
Truth in politics.
None of it's legitimate. Or evolution,
real clear politics,
right? Or anything like that. Nothing that's not legitimate. But if you have something that has a responsibility of viewership, right, or you have the responsibility of having the burden of truth on them, that is a legitimate news source to me because they have to because there's scrutiny going on with them.
I think a lot of the time, like The Guardian can tell the truth a lot,
but The Guardian's kind of a rag. So but it is a rag. They will print. They're like they're
not the Daily Fail, but they're close.
They're like the National Enquirer, right? The National Enquirer has part of it.
No, I feel like you're thinking of Daily Mail.
No, the National Enquirer has part of it where there's legitimate news going on, where they research their sources, they follow the rules of journalism, and they do their thing. They also have that on the side with a bunch of other weird shit that isn't legitimate journalism. But if they print a story about a celebrity, that story's been researched. It's like TMZ. TMZ's gonna.
Yeah, but I think that's a Daily Mail thing. I don't think that's a Guardian thing.
But the Guardian, if you look at the Guardian, or at least their website version, there's a lot of sensational stories going right alongside them.
There's sensational stories everywhere.
And the Guardian also solicits you for ad money right when you're reading the story.
Yeah, they do.
Send us money.
Like Wikipedia.
So Wikipedia is a public resource. So that's
I know. There's a difference.
The Guardian is like a newspaper that relies on advertising to survive.
That has been known to say stupid shit.
Right. So they have to be sensational in a way.
Shout out to Luke Harding.
Plus it's British journalism, which British journalism has a history of being just really sensational anyway.
Yes.
So they
are.
They have to do that. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where they're at.
Well, okay.
Sorry, I went on a tangent on that bullshit. But I've been thinking about that stuff a lot too.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you so much for listening, and you guys have a great rest of the month. It's not very long until the end. Bye.